Hello, welcome to Capital City View. Again, it's election time, and I'm here for my yearly visit with Hartford's Democratic Registrar, Olga Vazquez. Olga, thank you for taking the time out of your day to come down to the headquarters, to the studio to do this with me. I know you have a lot going on, and we have a lot of information in front of us.
And I would like to say thank you for inviting me.
Being that we have so much today, let's get right into November 8th. November 8th is, what, 4 weeks away, less than 4 weeks away?
Yes.
And we have a municipal election. What does that mean?
Oh, what it means is that the voters in the city of Hartford gets to elect a new mayor, city council members, city treasurer, and also constables during the November 8th election.
Now, these people were all nominated, endorsed at the conventions of the different parties that they come from back in the summer, went through a primary, and now this is why they're on this ballot for the November election, or petitioned.
For most of them, that's correct. I was going to go there. Either petition or either endorsed or supported by their particular parties. That is correct.
Okay. I see you brought a ballot, so we have a ballot to see in front of us. Can we just go, we'll go right into the ballot. Can you give us an idea of, maybe we can just tell the Democrat, Republican, working family petition, what we have here.
Okay, on November 8th ballot, the voters in the city of Hartford are going to go into the polling place and they're going to all receive a ballot. And on the ballot, you get to vote for a candidate for mayor. So for mayor, we have candidates appearing in the first column. Voters need to understand that they only get to vote for one candidate for mayor. So therefore, you have in row 1A, you have Pedro E. Segarra, 1B, Pedro E. Segarra again. He appears twice because he received the endorsement, he accepted the endorsement under the Republican Party. So for voters not to be confused, he appears on there twice.
Okay.
Therefore, continuing under the column for mayor, working family did not select a candidate for mayor. And continue on with petitioning candidate 1D, Patricia Smith, 1E, James Stanley McCauley, 1F, Edwin Vargas Jr. The last three petitioning candidate petition and qualify to have their name appear on the ballot for November 8th.
Now that means they had to actually go door to door, get people to sign a document, and then you had to go through and make sure that the signatures match the voter rolls, and that's how they were able to have their name on?
That is correct. Our office received these petitions from the town clerk's office, and the staff in our office, what they have to do and required to do by law is to verify and confirm that these people are a registered voter in the city of Hartford.
Now, why is it in this order? Why does this person go above these other two?
It's pending on the time accepted for qualification according to the Secretary of State and the state statutes.
So whoever gets in first gets that accordingly.
That's correct.
And now we have quite a few council candidates. I see quite a few names over here.
Actually, we have 16 candidates for city council.
For 9 positions.
For 9 positions. But however, the ballot says vote for any 6.
Now, why is that? Why can't you vote for, if there's 9 council, why can't you vote for 9?
Because you can't overvote. Okay. That's the problem. The voters need to understand that when they go into the polling place on November 8th, they're only selecting the 6th preference individual they prefer to represent them on city council. So if you allow me, here on a Democratic ticket, row 2A, we start with Raul De Jesus Jr., followed with 3A, Kyle K. Anderson, 4A, Sean T. Wooden, 5A, Kenneth H. Kennedy Jr., 6A, Alexandra Pontes, 7A, David McDonald. Continuing with the Republican, 2B, Michael J. Fryer, 3B, Corey J. Brinson, 4B, Sweets S. Wilson. Working family has 2C, Louis E. Cotto, 3C, Cynthia Renee Jennings, 4C, Joel Cruz Jr., 5C, Larry Deutsch. Petitioning candidates for council, Jerry Pleasant, 2D, 3D, Kevin R. Brookman, 4D, Arjo Wench. Those are your candidates in the city on the ballot November 8th for city
So
council.
anyone can go in and take any of these 16 and fill the circles in on any spot. They don't have to go across the row. They can go anywhere they want to on these rows.
That is correct,
For
as long
example,
as
like,
it's 6.
say row 4, you have 4 candidates. They could just go right down the row of row 4 and fill all those in, and then 2 more on there. Or they can fill 1 in and not any others if they don't want to.
That is correct. It is whatever the voter prefers and what the voter decides at that moment in casting their vote.
Okay, okay. Now what's the next office over here?
City treasurer follows in the column of row 8 column, number 8, and then 8A, Adam M. Cloud for city treasurer, 8B, Michelle Hoff-Fryer for the Republican, 8D, Lawrence M. Davis as a petitioning candidate for city treasurer.
Okay.
Then it follows through with the constables. Constables are people who serve papers, legal papers locally here in the city of Hartford for attorneys or whoever wishes to evict people or whatever that process. So the city of Hartford still elect constables. So voters in the city of Hartford get to vote for any 4, although we have 7 candidates appearing on the ballot. Here on the first top row, we have the Democrats. 9A, you have Mamie M. Bell. 10A, Angel R.C. 11A, I mistaken that one. Ellen S. Nurse, I apologize. 12A, Victor M. Luna Jr. Follow with the Republicans, they have 3 candidates. 9B, Ronald J. Perone. 10B, A. Lloyd Carter. 11B, Christopher Crow Spurge.
Now, why didn't they put 4 in also like the Democrats did?
I can't speak for the Republican, but that's who they endorsed, just 3.
And the working families didn't put anybody in at all, and they could have, and somebody could have actually petitioned to be a constable if they wanted to.
That is correct.
Wow.
And also voters get to write in voters if they, a voter's name, a candidate's name on November 8th.
Write-in also.
But those write-ins have to register with the Secretary of State's office with due time.
So if Joe Smith decided he wants to run for one of these positions, he has to contact the Secretary of State's office and say, I'm running for one of these positions. I want my name to be there.
As a write-in candidate.
Okay.
As a write-in
And so
candidate.
then they have to have all the other people, you don't fill a dot and you have to actually write my name in at that point.
That's correct.
So that's a whole different set of rules at that point then you have to go through.
That is correct. And we also have a question appearing on the ballot as well.
I'm very interested in this question. I see you brought it over here for us in a larger form.
Yes.
Which, if we could read this in, because this is something I think that a lot of people in the city don't even know about.
Exactly. So therefore, we need to educate the voters, and this is the reason why I agreed to appear on this show. So therefore, the question will also be posted in the polling place as the sample ballot.
Okay.
Okay. So therefore, the question reads, question 1, and it's only one question.
Okay.
Okay. Shall there be an ordinance repealing the November 4th, 2008 ordinance which increased the annual salary of members of the Court of Common Council to $26,650.00 and restoring the annual salary to $15,000.00 pursuant to Chapter 9, Section 1A of the Charter of the City of Hartford? Now, it also continues to explain it in Spanish, and it says this ordinance will repeal the annual salary increase of the Court of Common Council to $26,650 and restore the annual salary to the current rate of $15,000. If approved, the annual salary of $15,000 will be effective January 1st, 2012.
So this was voted on in the past by the council. Was this voted on by the voters also?
By the voters.
So the voters already voted on this, and now the council has decided to put this back on the ballot to lower the salary for the upcoming term for this next set of council people that take office.
Yes, because it appears to many people in the city or leaders in the city that it should be repealed.
Okay, now, but I understand that. So the people that are not an attorney, a businessman, someone that's making a very high salary that has time to, some people call it dabble on the council, would not be able to do this then because the $15,000 would be prohibitive for them to do it. We're at $26,000 they might be able to do this. Say a mother with children could become a council person because they would have benefits for their family, have a weekly paycheck coming in, and give us the opinion of the average person that lives in Hartford. Actually, most of the people that live in Hartford.
I agree. I get calls in concerning situations like that. As the registrar voter, I want the voters in the city of Hartford to understand I am the registrar and I oversee and administer the elections in the city of Hartford. I have no control of what city council has proposed to the voters in the city of Hartford. So therefore, the average voter, as you say, even a mother who is a president at the PTA in the local schools, and she is well known to be a very outspoken leader in that community, and this woman decides to run for city council, she needs a better pay.
Of course, she wouldn't be able to live on this.
Exactly.
How do you support a family on this?
So
I mean, some people could get by on this because there are people that make less than this that are for family of 4 in Hartford. But yet, what this is doing is then it's making it for an elitist group of people to be on the city council.
And I get those complaints constantly. Yes. So
are we repealing other people's salaries?
Not to my knowledge.
Then why are we just picking out the council then? I mean, and I know the council did this, and that's not your position, and I don't mean to throw it at you that way, but I think this is unfair to probably 90% of people that live in Hartford to have to go they wouldn't even put their names into this. They wouldn't even consider it because it would be something that they couldn't afford to do. They wouldn't be able to even stand up to be able to help their fellow citizens.
I agree, and it's one voice less heard, just like I have a theory to say to a voter, one vote does make a difference.
Correct.
So therefore, I ask all voters to come out on November 8th and express their concerns, express the issues and the matters that concerns them as a taxpayer in the city of Hartford. You want to see a change, and it's up to the voter to come out.
To do that. And you and I both know the past couple of years, 1 to 3 votes changes a lot of elections.
Oh, we can honestly say
We've
that.
been there for the recounts, so we see that this. I mean, a lot of people don't think their vote matters. Every single vote matters.
Oh, please.
You know, I hope this doesn't make it. I know some people out there are going to be upset that I say this because I'm not for raising taxes, but to do this, to cut out a major block of people that would be able to go toward this position, that's not right either.
No.
You know, I could understand if they were saying we're cutting salaries of every elected official, then it's something else to look at. But just to take a body of 9 people and just focus it on that. A year ago or 2 years ago, they raised the council aides from $35,000 to $45,000. A lot of people out there watching the show don't know that. You know, so they raised the salaries for the aides, but yet they want to cut the salary for the actual people that would be able to do this. You know, you mentioned about people that are doing PTA or PTO. There's a woman in the South End who's the president of the PTO who gives her life for children. Her name is Millie Arsenagas. And this woman continuously is out there on the streets helping families, working for children, never stopping. And someone like that would have to think twice about it. And that's not fair.
And that's correct.
That's not fair.
I agree with you because we need to have equal representation everywhere.
Yes, we do. You know, it's wonderful to have different levels of people on because that's what life is about. But to have all of one block doesn't bring another opinion in. And sometimes people that are from one view only see that view. They don't see the other side of it.
That is correct.
Yeah, I'm very pleased that we're able to talk about this. I hope viewers will, if they have any other questions, can call into City Hall 757-9830.
Yes, it is correct. 860, remember that.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Remember the 860-757-9830. We're open Monday through Fridays from 8 to 5.
Okay. All right, to get back to Election Day a little bit, it's less than 4 weeks away. Actually, I think it's 3 weeks from this Tuesday.
Yes.
3 weeks from Tuesday, November 8th, 2011. The polls open at 6, they close at 8.
That's correct.
Now, to get to this day, I know the week coming up to that, the week before that, there's a lot of intricate details that you have to work on. Give us an actual couple days before and the actual day getting to.
Oh, wow. Actually, right now, currently in the office, what we're working on is making sure that we appoint election officials. And these are the people that the voters encounter when they go into the polling place to cast their vote. We have the official checkers, we have assistant registrars, we have tabulator tenders, and we have ballot clerks. And we also have the moderators. Let's not forget the moderators. They're very important people, and we rely on everyone on Election Day. And these are the people that everyone gets to appoint. And you know, in today's society, the economy is bad. Everyone's looking for one way to make money and the legal way to make money. So therefore, everyone's calling the office and asking, Olga, I need to work. I need a job. On our side, Sean, the Democrat side, the voters need to contact their town committee members. If anyone out there listening do not know who are their town committee members, they need to call our office, 860-757-9830, and we will direct them to the correct individuals in town committee. What's going on is a municipal election in November, so therefore the Republicans, the working family, and the Democrats, because you have 3 registrars representing those 3 parties, have to equally divide the poll workers or election official among the 3 registrars.
I'm very happy that you brought that up. It's a question that after we come back from the break, I want to talk to you about, because there's a lot of people chattering in the city of Hartford about the election workers. And also, for anybody that does want to work at the polls, they can call your office. You'll direct them to the correct people, and then they can hopefully get their names submitted somehow.
Yes.
There are a lot of people in Hartford that look forward to Election Day every year.
And there's no guarantee that everyone's going to be pulled into work.
And it is something that a lot of people, I mean, it's almost like their clockwork for their year every year. You go into the polls, you see the same friendly faces. You know, I enjoy going to vote every year because I see the same faces at the table I check in, the people that hand me the cards. They're all upbeat, they're happy, they're friendly to be there.
I hope so, because it is customer service.
And they're doing a great job.
I'm
I just voted
happy
in the
to hear
primary
that.
recently at Bulkley, and it was a pleasure. The whole day going in there was a pleasure because of the people that were chosen and of the attitude that they have, that they want you to be there. They're welcoming you in the doors. I appreciate that. I'm here with Democratic Registrar voters, Olga Vazquez. We'll be back in just a moment.
We have a person here who witnessed the crime in our neighborhood on his cell phone. Let's take a look.
Crazy! It's like people don't care anymore.
All you have to do is throw it away.
Go green, use blue.
Don't they know it's the right thing to do? Remember, folks, if you have litter, just throw it away.
Throw it away!
Welcome back to Capital City View. I'm here with Democratic Registrar Olga Vazquez. Before the break, we were discussing the poll workers, and you said about how they get split amongst the parties. The Democrats, Republicans, working families, the workers, I guess they get even amounts of people. Is that what you meant?
It's split evenly, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3.
Between the Democrats, Republicans, and working families?
Yes.
Okay. The question I need to ask is, and I appreciate you bringing all of this information, including the information I'm going to bring up right now. Democratic parties, as of today, Democratic Party in Hartford has 33,611 voters.
That's correct.
The Republicans have 1,810.
That's correct.
The working families have 35.
That is correct.
So how is this fair that these workers get split evenly amongst these 3 parties when, let's see, you've got 1845, if you put those 2 together, against 33,611, not even, what is it, 2%, 3%, 5%? I don't even know what it is. It's less than 7%. Why are they getting the same amount of workers as the Democrats when the Democrats should be getting 80% of these workers?
That is a question that's surfacing in the city of Hartford among a lot of politicians and leaders in the city of Hartford. And basically, because it's a November municipal election, there's 3 registrars, and therefore I'm going to basically say to you is democracy.
So democracy is fair to spread it evenly across?
Yes.
Okay. As former chairman of the party, would this be able to be made into an issue if someone tried to? Or is this something that's because of the way it's the registrars, each one of you are even, you're even across the board because of your positions being even positions. You're all the registrars.
I will say, as a former town chair and current town chair, I will say that when I took office in 2009, actually all 3 registrars took office in 2009, I had a concern back then, and I still have a concern. However, in fairness to everyone in the city of Hartford, that's why I answer to you democracy. And yes, it should be a concern, because if you look at the numbers and say, okay, the Democrats have 33,000 versus working family have 35, why should she get 1/3? It's not she in particular, but it is democracy to be, in all fairness, to everyone in the city of Hartford to have an opportunity to work in the polls.
Okay, okay. And then the unaffiliated, which I didn't mention, is 9,928, which is about 25% of the Democrats.
Yes.
So the Democrats basically have the lion's share of all the voters in the city of Hartford.
We do, and we have always have, and there's always been a question. There's been a question that continues to resurface. Should there be 3 registrar versus 2 major party registrar versus 1 election administrator?
Oh.
That is a good question. Maybe that should be on a ballot one day.
Something to be questioned.
But then again, if there's a question on the ballot, it wouldn't just be addressed by ballot. It should be addressed by legislation.
Correct. Correct. So that would have to go through the State House, then be redirected back for a municipal, to telling them how to work on this instead of having 3. And then how would you choose it? Then you have to figure out from the parties to elect the highest vote getter.
And then
there's so much background.
And then
to
you
that.
will have a big war going on.
Yeah, you would. You'd have a
You
major
would have
war.
a big major war,
Yeah.
because in the state of Connecticut, as far as we can go in history, it's always been 2 major parties.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's right.
if you're going to open up a can of worm, you got to be prepared for this war.
That's very true. You know, there's a lot of people now, not just in Hartford, but across the country, that say a third party is due. It's time for a third party to step up, because some of the other people that have been involved have gone a little lackadaisy in the job they're doing, and they're not really stepping up when maybe a third party will reinvigorate and maybe make the people do the things they were put there, or step aside for someone else.
And I sort of agree, because it's nothing in particular against the party. It's who you elect in office.
Correct.
You know, like a lot of people say, well, Olga doesn't do that. I believe I can only speak for myself. In my opinion, I believe under my years under the administration, I've been in all fairness with everyone. I am elected by the voters, and therefore I will continue to serve the voters.
I have to say, I've been involved in Democratic politics in Hartford since I moved here 12 years ago. I've known different registrars. I have to admire the job that you do. I respect the job that you do. I think that you probably put in more hours than we're used to having in a registrar. I see you out places continuously talking to people, letting them know what the voting process is. I know you get to take some time off, but I know it's very little, because you're 100% dedicated to your job. And I appreciate it. I think it's a wonderful thing that you do for your office.
I am, and I appreciate it, and it's my passion. You know, I look at the city of Hartford, and I want to make a difference. I want to help make a difference, and that difference is, even if I can persuade 1 high schooler to register to vote and participate in voting, then I'm satisfied.
That's incredible if you can do that. That's exactly right.
Exactly.
Because you brought their mind into a place that they wouldn't have been otherwise.
And in terms of devoting my time, you know, when you look at the resource and the manpower, we no longer have what the former registrars used to have in past history. Times have changed, you know. And when you look at our office and the volume of work and the deadlines that we have to meet, there's time people go into the office unexpectedly and say, I'm here to see the registrar. It is not to take it personal on behalf of that person that's coming to visit me, but if I have to meet deadlines, then it is what I have to do. But I will return calls, and I know you've known that I've been in the office as late. Now remember, I won't call people past 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
But if I have to call the person as late as 9:30, I'm going to return calls.
I know you do it, because I've received calls, and from City Hall, knowing that you're still there working at your desk, trying to make sure that everything is done properly for not only the Democratic Party, but for the city as a whole.
The city as a whole.
Yeah.
The city as a whole.
Before you read the candidates for office, and I'm not sure if a lot of voters know that we have 23 polling places in Hartford. And if we could go through that list, if you don't mind.
No, I don't.
Because there are a lot of people that don't know that there's 23 polling places, and maybe they don't know that this school is in their district and that's where they're supposed to be voting, or this building.
I appreciate that, and I would like to do that. I would like to address this, because in this past primary, there was also some confusion that one of our polling places were not open for business. Therefore, I would like to take this opportunity and take your offer into going into the polling places in the city of Hartford. There are 23 polling places in the city of Hartford, and it's pending on where the voter, the individual voter, lives in the city of Hartford. So do not take advantage of, just because you live across the street from a polling place, that doesn't require you to go or allow you to go right across the street and walk.
The district line could be separating.
Exactly. So we need the voters who are listening and watching this program to pick up the telephone and basically dial 860-757-9830. My name is Olga Vazquez. My address is, give your address, give your date of birth, because some people may have multiple common names.
True, true.
So therefore, the girls in the office, the staff, will go into the voting system, which is the computer, identify your voting status, and direct you to the correct polling place. And therefore, the polling places in the city of Hartford, I will start with voting district 1. That's Achievement First Academy. It's located at 395 Lime Street. Annie Fisher School, 280 Plainville Street. Hartford Seminary, 77 Sherman Street. United Methodist Church is located at 571 Farmington Avenue. District 5, Grace Lutheran Church, 46 Woodland Street. Liberty Christian Center, located at 23 Vine Street. Rawson School, 260 Holcomb Street. Parkville Community School, it's located at 1755 Park Street. Burns School is located at 195 Putnam Street. Moylan School is located at 235 Hillside. Bachelor School, 757 New Britain Avenue. Kennelly School is at 180 White Street. People there get to enter on Monroe Street, however.
Oh, so they need to know to come Monroe.
Right.
Okay.
And is located in the gym. South End Senior Wellness Center is 830 Maple Avenue. Voters there have to enter through the back entrance, the parking lot there.
So come in on Maple Avenue, drive around the back of the building.
Right.
Okay.
Mesner Center is located at 640 Franklin Avenue. Canfield Public Library, 30 Canfield Avenue. Buckley High School, 300 Weathersfield Avenue. That's your polling
my
place.
polling place,
And that's
yeah.
located in the auditorium, correct?
Oh, it's beautiful the way it's set up.
Okay, the Learning Center, the Learning Quarter is located at 43 Vernon Street. Dutch Point Community Room, it's our recent location that we just located because some people were going to Betances School,
That's right.
Remember that?
That's my district also.
That's the
Yeah.
fairly new one. It's
Okay.
located at Dutch Point Community Room.
Another great location.
And that's a beautiful site.
Yes, it is.
That's located at 15 Patsy William Way.
Okay.
And that's the old Dutch Point housing complex. Hartford Public Library, that's 500 Main Street, which is right across the street from City Hall. The community room is located at 280 Sigourney Street. And Sand Elementary School, the library, 1750 Main Street. John C. Clark Street is located at 75 Clark Street School, 75 Clark Street, and that's also located within the gym.
Okay.
Freddie Wish School is at 350 Barbara Street, and that's also located in the gym.
Okay.
Most of our polling locations in the schools are located within the gym.
Now, I know sometimes there's a 75-foot mark, right, from the door to where people campaigning for whatever office or handing out brochures, they have to stay within those lines, correct?
That's correct.
Now, what happens if they go inside that line?
They're violating state statutes.
And so that's against the law then?
That's against the law. Anyone that's wearing any campaign T-shirt, logo, or any literature that's distributed within that 75-foot marker, they're looking to be called upon state election enforcement for violation of the 75-foot marker.
Are they allowed to go in the building? Say they're standing outside all day, they need to use the facilities. Can they go in the building to use the building, or do they have to cover up whatever they say on their shirt?
In most locations, poll standards or election officials who are working outside the polls are allowed to go into the facility to use the ladies' room,
Facilities,
restroom,
yeah.
whatever. However, it is highly recommended that they do away with the T-shirt, either turn it inside out, throw on a jacket or sweater
Just
to cover
whatever you're promoting.
and leave the literature outside if you can. If you can't, you have to do away with it discreetly.
Yeah.
That's what we ask.
And that makes sense. This way, I mean, because they're not standing out there. Well, because that November, as we know, could be a cold day, a rainy day. We never know where it's going.
Yes,
You know?
especially here, huh?
Yeah. I mean, we have either 90-degree weather or sub-zero in January. I mean, it's all over the place.
You never know. You never know.
What do you foresee this coming election day? Do you foresee any problems? Do you think it'll be a heavy turnout, mild turnout? I mean, how do you know every year what's going to be?
You know, Sean, it's hard to say in the city of Hartford. A lot of voters are really upset with the way leadership is going. It's heading. A lot of people are just upset, and they really don't want to be bothered anymore. And people have a tendency to quickly point fingers and say, well, the registrar is not there registering voters, or making new voters. You can make X amount of voters. Okay, we can all go out there and have this whole big field day to register people to vote.
That's right.
However, it's also upon the candidates who are running to really address and bring their concern to the voters and attract the voters into the polling place and say, I will stand for your cause. Give me the opportunity. I will do this. It depends on their platform. That's really going to guarantee a strong voter turnout. What I predict, what I foresee, I will love, and I always tell everyone this, I would love to see 100% voter turnout.
Yeah.
We all can make wishes.
Of course.
But however, how is it going to turn? I don't know. Hopefully the city of Hartford is going into the right direction.
Yeah.
And therefore I ask the voter to actually, those who are watching this show or hear about this show, they need to really ask themselves the question. We have history in our American history. We have heard how women have fought for the right to vote. We have heard how, this nation has moved forward. It is up to us now who are living in today's world, in today's society, to say, how are we going to direct our local government? It is upon that voter to go into the polling place and say, this is who I wish to lead this city.
To go from henceforth. You just brought up something. You mentioned women. And when we were looking at these ballots before, there are how many women's names on this ballot?
According to what I can count out here, we have one Sweet Wilson on 4B, Cynthia Jennings in 3C, and we also have Arjo Winch in 4D.
So we have
city
3
council,
women,
for
16
city council.
people are running, but only 3 of them are women.
For city council, that is correct.
Okay, so that's very interesting that that we have such a small amount of women running for these seats when probably over 60% of the voters are women.
Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah, so you would think that we'd have more women's names on this ballot, at least 50 to 60%.
That's why I said, and I plead with the voters in the city of Hartford, it's up to them to come out, exercise. If you've taken 2 or 3 minutes of your time to fill out that voter registration card and to have your name on that voting system, then give us 15 minutes of your time on November 8th between 6 in the morning to 8 to go to the polling place and just cast your vote.
Yeah, it's one of the only rights we have left as an American citizen. Is our right to vote. And so many people take it for granted.
And for those people who do not participate in the electoral process, and you sit there and point fingers and blame someone else, who can you blame?
You know what, when I find someone that doesn't vote, I don't even want to hear what they have to say. Because as far as I'm concerned, they didn't take the right to go and say yes or no. Don't talk to me about it. I don't want to hear about it. If you took the time out of your day to go and fill these little dots in, then you can complain or talk, or good or bad, till the day is long.
It's funny that you say that, because I know from experience, working in the Registrar Voter's Office, I've received calls. People who are helping pass laws and bills, the first thing they do, they need to know, Olga, what is the voter turnout, or what was the voter turnout on such and such date?
Yeah.
And if Hartford voters are pushing for a bump on the road, on the street,
Yep.
and there's a group of people in this block, they want this speed bump, the first thing they want to know is how many of these people come out and vote.
Because that's how they're going to change their vote. They want to know how many people are getting involved in the process.
And that's what people need to understand.
Yeah.
If you're not out there exercising your right to vote and you're causing headaches to these leaders, the first thing they're going to ask is, are these people voters?
Yeah.
And if they are voters, under which party? That's the
exactly
second
right.
question.
They're going to want to know if they're with them or against them, how they're going to handle their next election.
Yes.
You know, I just want to talk about this one more time. You mentioned the three women's names: Arjo Winch, Cynthia Jennings, and Sweets Wilson. Three women, even if they all get elected, would still only be 30% of the council.
That is
out
correct.
Out of 60% of voting population in Hartford, we'd still only have 30% of them represented on the council if they got elected. It's going to be an interesting election. It's going to be interesting because, you know, I mean, we have quite a few names here. Some of them are very outstanding names. Some of them are beginners. And, you know, hopefully the next council, the next 4 years, they'll give us something in Hartford that we can look forward to and take us to the next level. You know, it's going to be very interesting to see where it goes.
I agree.
Yeah. So back to Election Day. 8 o'clock you wrap up. The polls close. Now we
don't wrap at 8
I know.
o'clock.
Well, the polls close at 8. I've been at City Hall till 3 or 4 in the morning, getting results.
Okay.
But the polls close at 8. Now the moderators have to close the polls down. Now they bring their ballots or they bring some kind of sealed envelope to your office. And then what happens at that point?
What the moderators bring back are certain things: the keys to the machines. They bring back the official enrollment list, which is the book where the voters' names are checked off.
That's where they cross them off?
And the moderator's return, as well as some other key things that we need to make sure we collect, okay? But those are the main returns that the moderators must return to the Registrar Voters Office. And then what happens is, they appear before the head moderator. Registrars have the right by law to appoint a head moderator. So therefore, the head moderator sits there and meet with every individual moderator.
23 moderators.
23 moderator. And we go accordingly to what they reported on the moderator's return, cross-reference to the official enrollment list.
Which is the book that they cross your name off as you come in.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's very important to understand that every voter that goes into the polls to cast their vote, their name is crossed off on that election official
to make sure that they're being crossed off as they're.
And the ballots that are distributed to the voter are also counted for.
Oh, okay.
So there's checks and balances everywhere. Everywhere.
Okay. Now the person that they hand this paperwork into, this person takes all 23 pollings, and then I know you have a new board that you have set up in City Hall now to show as the actual votes are coming in.
Because we no longer have the manpower in the office.
Yeah.
And we no longer want to allow a lot of interference in the polling places. So therefore, public information is viewed at the top at City Hall on the board.
It's incredible the way you
It's a
have it set up.
projection screen, and every hour, the girls in the office, the staff in the office, call the moderators at all these polling places, starting at 9:30 in the morning, and they get the public count off the machine. The public is allowed to have this information as long as they go through the Registrar Voters Office. They can either call or they can come down and visit us.
And write down the results?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I want to piggyback on is not only do the moderators bring back just the election enrollment list and which is the book, and the moderator's return. Also, the new machines, the scanner, gives us a tape, a receipt.
Oh, that's that long receipt that they're holding?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's also checks and balances there.
So
how
that'll
many
have
votes were
these
cast?
people's names and have the numbers next to them accordingly for how many.
Yes.
Well, that's wonderful.
So you see, it's a whole process.
Yeah. And it's much easier that way, and then you have something you can go from this document to this document to make sure that they cross-reference across each other.
Yes.
Otherwise, you could have all kinds of numbers all over the place.
Yes.
And we know Hartford loves to recount because we've been doing that for the past, I think, 3 elections.
I don't think it's only geared at Hartford.
No, but I think it's one of our things that we happen to happen the past couple of years.
Yes, yes.
You know, recount
We're
Hartford.
fortunate on that end.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun being there that day with all the stress of people. I know it's not fun for the candidates, but it is a stressful day for them, but it is a lot of action going on.
It is.
Yeah.
Only in Hartford, right?
Only in Hartford. Hartford is the gift that keeps giving.
Oh,
gift that keeps giving. That's how I hear it, and that's how I'll look at it. Is there anything else before we wrap up that you'd like to say about anything about Election Day? I know we've covered quite a bit today.
I really want to just take this opportunity to say thank you again to allow me to have this opportunity to come before the voters. As I say, my passion is to make sure that we educate the voters in the city of Hartford. And what I ask the voters to do is really look at the issues, the concerns that are being presented to them. Continue watching Channel 5 if you can't get out the house. Is it Channel 5 now? Because I think we've been away from here.
I hope it's Channel 5.
Well, public access television. Let's be safe. Public
Channel
access.
5. Channel 5. Okay.
Public access television. If you can't get out the house and attend the public forums and the meetings with the city council, or even if you can't come down and visit me in person. The telephone, again, is 860-757-9830. I'll be more than happy to return your call before 10 o'clock at night. I promise you it's before 10 o'clock. Any concerns, any issues that the voters have, I welcome them. I really wish to have 100% voter turnout. So therefore, I plead with the voters out there on television land to come out on November 8th, anytime between 6 in the morning to 8 in the evening, and cast your votes. You know, you have a mayor that's going to take the city forward. Who would that be? We don't know. You have a choice on the ballot. City council members, who would they be? We don't know. It's all up in your hand, in the voter's hand. Yep. City treasurer and the constables. And this big question that they have on the ballot, you know, for council. Increase or decrease. Yep. You know, so therefore I ask every voter in the city of Hartford to come out on November 8th.
Thank you. I want to thank the Registrar for taking the time today. This happens to be my favorite show every year because we get a lot accomplished. We're able to talk about things. And this Registrar of Voters is open for business all the time. Anytime you need to get down there, if she's busy, she will call you back. 860-757-9830 is the number down there. I want to thank you for spending this half hour with us. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you.